So I'm down in Guardamar, Spanish little coastal place along the Costa Blanca, which is right next to La Marina. So yeah, not far from Torrevieja, and yeah, I'm going to be telling you the truth about Spain and whether they really like us, the old Spanish, and go through really what's been happening in the last 10 years since I've been living in Spain, and what I've seen changed, and for the good or the better. But yeah, this place in Guardamar, definitely worth a visit, and we're going to take a little walk around and take a stroll up the seafront, the promenade. In November, lovely blue skies again, and yeah, parks here is called Park Afonso VIII, and just over here we've got a lovely park for the kids, Park Reina Sofia. So yeah, two fantastic parks. You've got a little high street up the top there with all kind of bars, restaurants, church. Yeah, busy little place. And if you do like the video and you want to see more of Guardamar, I'll have a couple of videos of previous videos I've done on the area, so you get to see what it's like. But today I'm going to be talking about what's changed in Spain since I've been here, and do the Spanish really like us? As you know, in Spain we call ourselves expats, but yeah, a lot of people actually say we're immigrants, and there is a bit of a difference between expatriates, of course expats for short, between immigrants, and there's all different interpretations of this, and we're going to go through really what an immigrant is and what an expat is. And the Spain do love us, for the simple reason is we bring a lot of money. And of course, all the myth about the Spanish don't like us. I mean, look at this chap here. He loves us. But yeah, serious note, the Spanish, there's people they don't like us in England. When we was in the UK, we obviously didn't like certain people for certain reasons. They were coming over to the UK and to ponce off the system. Of course, the Spanish don't mind people coming here and working and blending in with the culture and abiding by the rules. So they don't mind them sort of people. It's the people that stroll up on these coastal resorts, Benidorm, lagerlouts as they call them, and basically just slag off the place and make it trashy. You come here, make the commitment, move to Spain, and buy property, of course, blend in with the culture, learn a bit of Spanish. Yeah, they don't mind us at all. So an expat really is someone that actually lives outside their native country, I suppose, the country that they're born and bred in. And they're living outside the country like for a certain amount of time, and maybe not intending to go back to their own country. So yeah, expat could, like I mentioned, could be just temporary period, but an immigrant is someone that's actually destined to stay in that place. An immigrant could be moving to that country permanently for a reason because they might have family there or seeking refuge from the war or all kind of things like that, where an expat might be going to another country just for temporary, you know, have a long rest and enjoy the culture, and of course the work commitments. And of course mostly the expats are coming with money in their pockets, so they're actually bringing things into the community, where a lot of the immigrants that were coming, more likely they're coming with nothing, and they're probably just taking from the country rather than giving. But yeah, there's all different interpretations of immigrants and expats. It's what way you want to look at it, basically. But yeah, the Spanish will call us immigrants, we will call ourselves expats. But yeah, over the last 10 years since Brexit, and it has got a bit of tetchy out there, you know, with the Spanish and the English, you know, on what we're actually labelled as. But what's happened really, Brexit has divided it a little bit, because it's made it a lot harder for people to just free willy come and freelance off the country and do what they like, where the rules were very lax with a free movement. And now the rules have really tightened up, and you've got to get all the visas, and visas costing money, and a little democracy about it all. And you've got all these new kind of permits you've got to get done to come in. So yeah, it's got a bit tight and a bit twitchy out there. But on the other hand, what you've actually seen the change is the people that are actually coming in to Spain now are actually people that are actually committing to do their own work and seek their long-term decisions in want to live in the country, where before people were just stopping over and having a long holiday basically. And as you know, they've made it so much harder now for people applying for Brexit. I mean, before you could have had about 15 grand in the bank before this dreaded vote, and you would have got accepted quite easily. But since Boris messed it all up and we actually got voted out with all these deals they didn't negotiate properly, it's changed altogether now. You've got to have a few quid to come and do the old big move. To come to live the dream and come down on one of these coastal beaches here on the Costa Blanca. Of course, I've just bumped into Kieran, and he watched one of my videos, and this is the reason why he's here.
Fantastic,
yeah.
Really fantastic.
And you're living in Algorfa?
Moving into Algorfa in January.
And it's a permanent move, yeah?
Semi,
yeah.
Towards permanent.
Oh yeah, great.
This is amazing.
Yeah, I do try and do a little bit.
It's amazing. My brother-in-law's up in Morera,
yeah.
And he said to me when I was coming over, he says, have a look at your videos.
Yeah.
And I've done it, and it's been so helpful.
Oh, that's great. I am really glad. I'll tell you, when I'm out and about, I meet so many of the subscribers, and they're all like, oh, it's because of you that we moved there.
Got a number.
Yeah, I just, it's nice to give people the information, honestly, how I see it, the point of view, and I do try and show them different parts of Spain, cost of living.
Honestly, really insightful.
That's great. I'm really nice to meet you. Thanks a lot. Cheers, mate. Thank you.
All the best.
So yeah, old Kieran, like I say, always bumping into subscribers out here, and they all say the same. So yeah, I do try and give me honest opinion, and if I'm giving news reports, it's all research from the papers. I know some people say, oh, it's bull, you got it wrong. And the things I do on a visa, they're all up-to-date information. I do take from the news. So if they're all saying it's rubbish, well, they must be hearing different stories from different people down the pub. But yeah, this is on a Thursday, and we're looking at creeping up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And yeah, it's just lovely, isn't it, eh? Nice, calm and peaceful. So I was saying this Brexit business, okay, it hasn't worked out too good for the Brits. It's worked out okay for the immigrants, because, a lot of people are saying these people that are not in the EU, other than the Brits, can sort of come here and over on a dinghy and get better rules than what the Brits are. It seems like they're having a dig at us, the UK, for leaving the EU, and they're like really stamping their foot down. And I could see why people were really upset, and lots of people have been turned down with their visas, and they've had a couple of tries at it, and they've had loads of money. But from experience of being here, when we was applying, I mean, 9 out of 10 people were passing flying colours, because we were in Brexit. But the people were choosing not to bother while we was in the EU, of not going through with it, because they didn't think Brexit was really going to happen, and they just turned a blind eye. They just thought everything was going to just roll over. Of course, when the dreaded thing did happen, they started applying, they were the people that are getting turned down, even though a lot of them have been here for years. But there was a lot of reasons, of course, why people did start going back, not because of just getting turned down their residency. They were actually setting up their holiday homes as well. It was a bit of insecurity, really. I think no one actually knew what was really going to be going on with Brexit, whether it was really going to be going ahead, and what it really was all about. Like I mentioned before, no one knew what they were voting for, really. They were still deciding deals after it was leaving the EU. But yeah, it was all to do with healthcare and money. And the same thing hasn't changed, really, because if you're applying for these visas I've been talking about in recent videos, it all comes down to money. If you've got plenty of money, you ain't got no problem coming to Spain. And yeah, they do want to see it in a bank as well, unfortunately. But if you're over 50, coming up to pension age, you've really got the easiest chance to come in and live in the dream in Spain. But when you come out of Spain and you do make this big move like we did, you talk to so many other people that actually made the move to Spain. You know, your first 6 months, you're in holiday mode. You keep pinching yourself because of the beautiful weather, the warm climate. Back in the UK, you know, in the winter times, they're like freezing and eating on and wrapped in blankets, and we're here walking along the beach at 23 degrees the same time of year. So yeah, you can't believe it. You've actually done it. You're living this big dream. Then after 6 months of holiday mode and buying all things for your place and out partying and bars and discos, then you start to settle down and you start to see the real Spain, and you go, what am I going to do with myself? Can't be drinking in bars every day. Been doing it the last 6 months, and this is where you've got to get yourself a little hobby. And of course, best thing about Spain is you've got the al fresco dining because you've got the beautiful weather, but you can do a lot of things outside. Apart from the golf that costs money, you've got a lot of walking groups, and you can visit a lot of these towns, don't cost nothing. Loads and loads of history in Spain and lots of places to visit. As you've seen in my videos previously, I've visited a lot of these little towns in Spain, and property is cheap as chips, as you know. Gone through a lot of the properties. You can get properties from 10,000 euros. So desperate you want to be to come and do it. But yeah, you've got to find yourself a little hobby when you come to Spain. If you've got a little part-time job, but of course it all depends on what visa you're going for, because some of these visas you can't work. I mean, I know it can be a big move moving to Spain, but really, is it that big move? Because it's not have to always be a permanent move. You know, it can be a temporary move. You can try it, test the water for a few years. You know, you're not leaving the world. You're only a few hours away back to where you come from, back in your own town. You can't get bored because, like I mentioned, you've got the weather. You're out all the time. And then you go out to these lovely little places. And Spain's been really, really popular because it was really, really cheap, as it is. Everything's cheap, isn't it? And you've got the climate and everything, so everyone was coming here. But of course now it ain't cheap, because if you're not got your residency before the old Brexit vote, Spain could be pretty expensive doing that big move now, because the visas are not cheap and you've got all these requirements. So maybe it's not as attractive. People you talk to now are saying, no, turning me back on Spain. And they're saying now they're looking at other places to go to. I mean, the non-lucrative visa we was talking about in the other video, you know, you've got to have so much money each year, and then once you've proved you've got that money in the bank, then you have to reapply for the next 2 years, and you've got to have double the amount to show that you've got it in the bank for the next 2 years. And this is all before you can actually apply for permanent residency. Of course, you've got the employment, the self-employment one, and you know, the remote digital visas. But all these visas are all really difficult, and all these places to get the appointments done are all overloaded at the moment because everyone's trying to sort it out, and it ain't as quick and as easy as it. So yeah, it's not easy getting a visa nowadays. I do say it's easy when you do it all, but of course you've got to know exactly what you're doing, and a lot of people are getting like lawyers and people that have done this before to apply for them, just so that they can pass the application. Unless you was getting an application done by an office down or Alicante that set up a dodgy residency ring, yeah, fraudulent one, you was guaranteed to get in. National police managed to dismantle this criminal network that was operating in Alicante, Murcia and Valencia. Yeah, 21 people were arrested. They were falsifying documents and getting onto the main computer and changing everything so they can get their residency passed. I wouldn't mind, out of 21 of them, they was making an extra €1,000 a month by doing all this dodgy work, getting people visas where they wouldn't normally get them by hacking into the computer system. And when people were typing on them, they managed to get in and alter all their status of play. So yeah, they were able to get the old pass. And the police were doing this investigation in 2023. They was at it for quite a good few months, gathering all the stuff. But yeah, they got all the documents and computers, and found out exactly how they was doing it. So them people didn't have a problem getting their residency. So yeah, they passed all flying colours, money in the bank and residencies and all what was required, they passed. Now I wonder whether the police are going to look back and see all the people that they actually got slipped through the net illegally, whether they're going to check them out and then making them re-go for their residency again. Yeah, they all get caught in the end, but yeah, of course, if you want to go through the residency the legal way, I have done all the visas, like I said, I'll post them up at the end. But this is what I've experienced in the last 10 years of being in Spain. The Spanish are pretty happy with the old Brexit situation because they've actually cleaned up their country a little bit, rather than people coming and going and taking all the jobs and, of course, working under the radar. They've all had to go back, haven't they? Because now there's no overstaying, because they've got all this new system going and where they stamp in your passports in and out. But yeah, we did see a lot of people go back in the Brexit period when it was all on a 50-50 whether it was going to go on or not. And there were the people, mainly were the older generation really. The pension people want to get back and be with their family, and they've bit too long been here for years and years, of course never bothered with this you know, overstaying lot, because the Spanish never enforced it because we was in the EU. People were coming for months on end, and yeah, a lot of them just decided to live here even though they weren't declared as permanent residents. And you're supposed to be, as you know, if you've been in a country more than 6 months as you reside inside of the country, you're supposed to actually become a resident. But yeah, everyone just took the notice of it, the pensioners and all the other people that just carried on living their life. Of course, when it gone through, a lot of them just said, no, can't be bothered with all the ag, you know, time to sell up and go. And off they went back to the UK. But yeah, but now it's time for the new generation to come through and apply. And I know a lot of you have been trying to apply for this residency, and I've been hearing all stories in the comments, you know, how you've been turned down and all different reasons. But yeah, different areas, for strangely enough, have different rules. And even when we were applying, you know, back in just before Brexit actually vote come in, there were some people that were getting turned away, and they had well enough money in their bank account. And basically, there was other areas where everyone was just getting past flying colours. So yeah, Spain, innit, eh? I don't know how they work this out, but yeah. There's some rules for some and some rules for others. People are really upset because they seem to be having a dig at the English, but if you're coming over on a boat, they seem to get more rights. It was only the other day they changed the immigration new rules, and again it did waiver the people who are actually who are outside the EU, of course. The non-EU people, but it didn't favour the UK. So that's the problem, innit, eh? Because these rules they're coming up with is all aimed at the immigrants, saying they need them here to keep working and to pay for the people that are not working, to balance the books. Well, as you see, they look here working, but they're not paying tax. So yeah, this nice little town, Guardamar, if you're ever thinking of coming and buying a property or want to test the water, yeah, Guardamar's a lovely little place. Like I say, it's mainly Spanish and it's very clean, and you can see out a lovely, lovely beach. So, are we expatriates, expats, or are we immigrants? I'll let you decide in the comments below. But we do class ourselves as expats. And I just think the reason why we're classing ourselves as expats, because we're actually coming to the country, we're not living off a freebie, and we're not taking things out of the health system, we're actually paying into the system, and we're doing it all properly, rather than just turn up and take. So yeah, that's what I interpret as an expat. But yeah, you let us know, and let us know if you've been trying for this visa, if you had any luck. Or have you thought about just giving up Spain and trying another country altogether? because of the democracy and all this and that. Never know, one day they might get back in here, you, and things will all be rosy again. So yeah, that's today's video, up in Guardamar on the Costa Blanca. Let us know what you think, expat or immigrant.